Hi, this is Cheryl Peterson with the Community of Christ Scientist. If an alien visited Earth and read the Bible and words inside the Bible represented people, the aliens could believe that the human population from 4000 BC to 100 AD, which is when this was written, consisted of one female per every million males. I get that figure from a count made in the year 2013 by the Reverend Lindsay Hardin Freeman, an Episcopal priest. She conducted a count and learned that out of the 1.1 million words in the Bible, only 1.1% came from women. We know there is a better balance between the sexes, and yes, humanity today takes measures to correct that void of understanding by revisiting the reality of equality. It was 100 years in the making, but in 1987, the United States Congress instituted Women's History Month for March to flesh out contributions made by women. We're trying to write women back into history, but this is a trick. We can't just tell or repeat what women did and how men treated them as sex slaves, or that they were barren or had 52 children. We need more. We can ask, what were the women thinking and how did it affect mass consciousness? We need to assess the viewpoints of the women, their perceptions, the depth of their knowledge and participation with humanity. So here goes, a story from the Bible, from the book of Judges. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, now that Ehud was dead. So the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, king of Canaan, who reigned over Hazor. Now, Deborah, a prophet, the wife of Labadoth, was leading Israel at the time. She held court under the palm of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim. And the Israelites went up to her to have their disputes decided. Barak said to her, "If you go with me, I will go, but if you don't go with me, I won't go." "Certainly I will go with you," said Deborah, "but because of the course you are taking, the honor will not be yours, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman." So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. There, Barak summoned Zebulun and Naphtali, and 10,000 men went up under his command. Deborah also went up with him. Now, I'll translate into a shorter version. The tribe of Israel is living their lives. They got distracted by worldliness, materialism, blaming others or themselves, whatever, and when they argued, they went to the judge. At the time, the one and only woman judge was Deborah, a prophetess. She strives to direct and redirect the Israelites to a God of love and a truth of self-control. Come on, people, get your act together. When we neglect our spirituality, we feel as though we are losing control. Next door, King Jabin of Canaan, seeing their vulnerability, wants to control them. Deborah doesn't ignore King Jabin, but takes on the challenge. She calls on Barak, a man she could trust, and told him to gather 10,000 men for an army to defeat King Jabin's army, which was led by Sisera. Barak said, "I'll do this if you come with me." Deborah rolls her eyes and agrees, "Okay, I'll come fight." A huge rainstorm commences, and the fighting begins. Deborah and Barak's men defeat the army. The whole army is dead except Sisera the leader, who escapes and runs to the tent of Heber, one of his buddies, who, from a different nation or tribe, appeared neutral on the whole fighting between Canaan and Israel. So, we have the sight of bloody, weary, self-seeking Sisera coming to Heber's tent, but it's Heber's wife, Jael, who courageously invites Sisera into the tent, hides him under a blanket, gives him milk to drink, and waits until the army commander is snoring. Then she acts. Jael drives a tent peg through the man's head, defeating the last vestige of the army who attacked Israel. What was Jael thinking? Empathy for the Israelites or distrust of those who oppress others? She didn't think there was a reason why King Jabin should bully the Israelites. She didn't believe it possible to be neutral. She knew that we either add to or take from ideas. And the idea of hurting others for a show of power was not the side Jael stood on. One question I ask after Sisera's army was destroyed, why worry about the lone leader? Look at the mind of Jael, though, through the lens of a wise, quick-acting, all-knowing, powerful, divine mind. Yes, human beings get distracted away from the God of love and feel vulnerable, stifled. We bicker, we get frustrated, and most of us try to do better. But every single thought must stand on the side of trying to do better, on the side of rationality, innocence, inner strength, and well-being. We have no idea if Jael knew Deborah, and it was a case of, or if it was a case of one woman standing up for another. But I doubt it. I think both women stood on the side of a God who created and maintains a sense of completeness. While life goes on, each success in our recognition of a meaningful life is complete.